Okay, so we're signing up for GitHub. If you haven't done it yet, gonna click sign up. You could use your Google account or Apple account, or you could use your email and create your account. Once you sign in, let me just sign in with my account over here. Once you sign in, if you don't have any repositories, it's probably gonna look different, but for me, since I already have some repositories created, a repository again is just a place to store a project. Um, I've got a few here, but you might see a different screen, maybe create your first repository type of screen. And to create a new repository, all you gotta do is click the new button, or you could go up here and say new repository, where the plus sign is. Let's see on the side here, click all repositories. There's also a new repository button up there, but whichever way you do it doesn't matter. Just find the new repository button and create a new repository. Then you have to give your repository a name. Okay, so if you created an account, you probably picked an account name. You can see mine is David-LAPC. So all my repositories are going to be David-LAPC slash whatever repository name I decide to give it. So since we're in WST154, also for these repository names, you can't really have spaces. If you add a space, it's automatically going to put a dash for you or a hyphen. So keep that in mind. You could do underscore, but I'm going to do WST154. Let's say underscore April 2026. And I'm gonna make one repository for all my projects in this class because we're not gonna really have too many, and I think it'll be better if we make one main repository, and then we'll make like a home page for all our projects, and we'll have links on there so you could click assignment 1 and see assignment 1 and assignment 2 and assignment 3. So just like I did with um, WST165 a couple weeks ago. So if you already did that, you're gonna be familiar with this. We're going to do the same thing for this class. Okay, so anyway, pick your name. You could put a description if you want, but you don't have to. The rest of this stuff, you could leave it alone. You don't have to change anything. Just make sure it's public. If you make it private, I'm not going to be able to see it, and I'm not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to share your homework with me if you make it private. So make sure it's public. Okay. README is for explaining the project. But we don't, I mean, if you go to GitHub, you could explore other people's projects. Like if we go to explore and let's look at trending, for example. What is there? Warp is an agentic development environment. I don't know what that is. Skills for real engineers. Useful tool to track location or mobile number. You can see all these different projects here. I'm trying to find one where we could experiment with it real quick. Or this alternate front end to YouTube. So um, let's look up language. JavaScript. Anyways, let me just click one of them because I can't really find anything that looks fun to play with. But you click on it and then you can see all the files in this project. This is using some sort of JavaScript library. That's why you see things like yarn lock package.json. It's not a basic JavaScript project where you just have your HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. This one they probably used a library like like Vue or React, something like that. But here's their README basically. This whole thing is the README, and it just kind of explains what this project is. There's got a screenshot, some features, how to use it. So that's what the README is for. But we're not gonna need it, so we could just keep that off. Git ignore. So the video we just watched, it explained that you can push your project files to GitHub, right? First, you create a Git project. So it's Git is used to track your project and save the history and all that. And there's a command in there that says git push, and when you say git push, it uploads everything to GitHub. Well, git ignore is just a list of files that you don't want to push because maybe they have sensitive information in there, like passwords or API keys. So you add those files to the .gitignore file, which is a text file. You just list the files and their location, and they get ignored so they don't get pushed. And then the license is just for letting people use your project if they want. So it's licenses explain how others can use your code. You could leave that alone too. So the only thing you need to do is basically pick a name, repository name, make sure it's public, and then click create repository. Okay, the next screen you'll see is the code tab. But since we haven't uploaded anything to GitHub yet, we get this screen here that says quick setup. And here it'll tell you that you could create a new repository on the command line. You could type all these commands, git init. Remember that initializes a git project, so it makes it so it's using the git system to keep track of your project files. Then it says git add readme if you want to add a readme. Git commit, that's how you save. Git branch is how you create a. Well, actually, this one git branch is just to rename the branch. Git branch dash m main is for renaming your branch because initially it's called master, but they make you change it to main. I don't know why. Git remote add origin, that says this is the link. Remember my GitHub is david-lapc, and the repository I named it was WST154 underscore April 2026. So when I say git remote add origin, I'm basically saying I'm going to be typing git remote add origin on my computer, right? So I'm telling it that this is the git repository that I'm going to be pushing to. So it's just github.com/davidlapc slash the name of a repository. Then git branch dash m main. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped over. This is a separate. This is for if you want to push an existing. We were talking about this one. So after git branch, git remote add origin, and then finally git push dash u origin main. That just pushes all the files from my computer up to GitHub. So it uploads it. The dash u just means next time I can just do git push and I don't have to say origin main anymore. So it'll remember origin main. So every time I say git push, so only the first time you do it, you'll do git push dash u origin main. Every other time will be git push. But if you have an existing repository, then git remote add origin, git branch m to rename it, and then git push. Since we haven't created a Git repository yet, we have to do this one, git init. Or if you don't really care about using all the git commands, you just want to upload your file so I can see it, so you can share it with me, you could skip all of this stuff and just click on upload an existing file and just upload everything directly. Right, so this is only necessary if you're interested in using Git to keep track of your project. If you don't care, you're just uploading it, click upload an existing file, then you'll just skip ahead to settings and pages, and then you'll pick your main branch over here and click save, and then give it a few seconds. It'll load the link that you could share with me to see your website. Going back to code, let's just do an example of the easy way where you just click upload an existing file. Here you can see it says drag files to add them to your repository. Let's upload functions. Functions right now has CSS, images, JavaScript, and index.html, and then leapyear.html. I could upload the whole folder like this, but if I do that, I'm not gonna have like an index.html. Remember, there has to be like an entry point. When I visit the link, what file is it gonna open? If I just upload this, there isn't really gonna be anything to open. It has to be an HTML file. So I could drag all this in there, and then when I visit, it'll open this. Basically, this will be what I see if I click the link. But like I said, I want to make a repository that I can go to and see all of my projects, not just one of them. So what I should do is make a new folder. Why is that taking so long? Okay, I don't know why that took so long. We're gonna create a new folder, and I'm just gonna call this WST154 April 2026. I'm gonna put functions in there, conditionals. Delete this one. Objects, booleans, my story, assignment one. I'm just gonna put all the stuff we did so far in there, and let's decide what we want to upload. So far we did what assignment. This is the wrong assignment one. We did my story was our first project. We looked at booleans. What did we do with booleans? Anyway, I'll probably just upload all of these. Objects, booleans, my story, functions, and conditionals. But all of them have an index.html inside. Right, so I'm just gonna make one main folder here, or one main file here. Main index.html. We could also do this in VS Code. Let me delete that. So open this with VS Code. So I'm in that WST154 April 2026 folder where I put all my projects. And I want to upload this to GitHub, but remember, there has to be an entry point or an index .html so that we can, when we visit the link, this will open. So if this opens, we wanted to have links to all these projects. So I'll just make an unordered list here with a few LIs, and each one will be a link to one of my projects. So the first one will link to um, my story. And we could call this Simon 1, or no, we'll call it my story. Let's call it my story. The next one, another LI. This one, create another link. We'll put booleans in there. So this will take us to booleans. So the first one takes us to my story, opens that up, and then since we have a file there called index.html, I could just put // so it'll automatically open the index file. Then booleans, if you open that, there's index.html in there also, so we can just do /. If you had named this something else, like booleans.html, then you would have to put the file name booleans.html, or else when you click the link, it's not gonna open the HTML file. It's just gonna go into the folder and not know what to show you. But whenever you name it index.html, it just automatically opens. So that's why I usually call them index.html. Next one, we'll do objects. Oops. This next one is functions. And the next one, conditionals. I think that's all of them. So it works here. When I click on it, I can go inside the folder and see the project. This one's not working. Oh, because I spelled conditionals wrong. Still not opening. Conditionals. Oh,
There's an extra I.
scared me.
Sorry. There's an extra unconditional. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, it works here. It should work when we upload it. Let me just double check. Sometimes, yeah, I see when I double click, instead of opening it with VS Code's um, live server thing, if I just double click it and I try to go to one of these, it shows me this folder index of. Not sure why. Let me try taking away the. Wait, no. Let's do href equals um, and put a dot in front of it, see if that makes a difference. Okay, that messes it. Okay, let's not put a dot. I meant dot forward slash. Okay, that still works here. Does it work if I do it this way? No, that doesn't help that. If I don't put a forward slash. It still works here. That's still okay. I think this is just, it's not gonna work like this unless you actually put the file name, but that's fine because on GitHub it's not gonna behave this way. When you double click to open it, um, the links don't really work without putting the file name. Like that index.html thing doesn't really apply if you're just double clicking from here. But anyways, I think doing it this way with the forward slash probably the best way to do it. Alright, so I want to upload this to GitHub. I could take all of this and upload it like this. I wouldn't take the whole folder. Like don't take the whole WST154 folder. If you do that, then you're gonna end up same situation where there's no index file. It's just gonna be a folder in your main branch. So when you click the link to visit your repository page, it's not gonna have a HTML file to open. So you gotta take all of this and upload it. Okay. Other thing you can do is run the commands that were mentioned, which was git init. You could skip the git add readme if you want, but you could type that in as well. Git commit, git branch, git remote add origin, and then git push dash u origin main. So if you do all of that, it'll upload it for you. It'll be the same as if you just dragged all of these in here. Not exactly the same, because this wouldn't be a Git repository, but it'll upload it the same way. So I'll show you, do it this way. You can see it's uploading all the files. Okay, once it's all uploaded, you have to commit. So commits are how you save. Every time you make changes, you do commit. So this first commit is me uploading everything. So I'll say added files and click commit changes. All right, now we can see under the code branch, I'm on my main branch. Remember, there's multiple branches. Right now, we only have one. It's the main branch. I never branched off to different ones, so it's just main right now. And you can see my folders are all there, and then there's that home page. So that's important. When you click code, there should be an index.html here. So when we go to settings, we go to pages, and then where it says branch, click main, and then save. So now it's going to serve the website from the main branch, but we have to wait till it's ready. So going back to settings pages, once the website is ready, after you click save, give it a few seconds, just refresh the page until it shows up. Take some time for it to build. Sometimes takes longer than other times. Okay, there it is. Cool. So there you can see the link. It says your site is live at davidlapc.github.io/WST154 April 2026. So if I click visit, here's my website. I can click to visit all the projects we did. And everything should still work. Yeah, everything still works. But that's the easy way. So once again, just to run through everything real fast, you create your repository, new repository. You give it a name, WST154 underscore April 2026. That one I already used, so I'll put an underscore 2 just to show you a second example. Leave everything alone, just click create repository. Click uploading an existing file. Drag your project, but make sure you're including an index.html when you're dragging all of these here, because that's what's going to open when you share the link. So I already created one, index.html, and it links to all these different projects. So I'll take all of that and upload it. It's taking long, I think, because some of those pictures I downloaded were kind of large. Should definitely optimize images like that so it loads quicker. I didn't bother optimizing, but we'll look at that later. Okay, I think they're all uploaded now. We write our message, initial commit or uploaded files, whatever you want to write there. Commit changes. Now my main branch should have all the files uploaded, including the index.html. Click on that, you can see the actual index.html. All it is just this unordered list with links to all my projects. Alright, so from there you can go to settings, pages, and where it says branch, where it says none, change that to main and then save it. And give it a few seconds or a few minutes for it to prepare your website. And then if you need to delete a repository, also under settings, if you scroll all the way, or sorry, it's under settings, but settings general, I think. Yeah, scroll all the way down to the danger zone and you'll be able to delete it. But let me refresh this. Let's wait till it actually builds my website. Oh, it's under pages. Okay, there it is. This one works too, just same as before. Now I have two of them though. If I go to my all repositories, I've got WST154 April 2020. Where is it actually? My repositories. So yeah, I've got two of them. April 2026 and 2026 too. I want to delete this one. So go to settings, scroll all the way down to the danger zone and delete this repository. I want to delete. I have read and understand. Then you have to type in the name. And then delete it. Okay, so now I'll do one more example, but this time I'll use the git commands. So once again, new repository, repository name, WST 154 underscore 2026 underscore 2, create. But this time I'm going to do the commands. Okay, so here's my, let's open that 154 2026 folder. So if you're going to do it this way, you got to open that folder that I created. Remember, this is all the stuff that I uploaded, right? So this has to be the folder where you open VS Code. So open VS Code in here. I can see all my folders, all the different projects, plus the index.html. Okay, but this time instead of dragging it and uploading it into GitHub, I'm gonna type in the terminal, which you can bring up if you click on, if you click this bottom left corner, and then it'll pop up right there, or you could go to terminal up here, new terminal, and you could pick whatever terminals you have on your computer. I've got PowerShell and Command Prompt and Git Bash. So it lets you pick which terminal you want to use. Doesn't really matter for the Git commands, they're all going to be the same. So let's say I'm using Git Bash because, oh, that's another thing. You will have to install Git, I forgot. If we're going to be using Git, using this method and not just uploading it, you need to go to forgot the URL. It's git-scm.com. Or just type git in Google, it'll come up. It's this website. You need to install it for Windows or Mac or Linux or whatever you're on. Um, I've already got it installed. The way you know, if you're on a Mac actually, if you're on Apple, you already have Git, I think. You don't have to install it. You could test it if you open your terminal. Like, I don't know how you open your Mac terminal, but the thing that looks like this, open it and type in git dash dash version. If it says something like git version 2.5, that means you have it installed. If it says command not found, then you need to install it. So I already installed Git, so I can use this. If you're on a Mac, you probably already have it because it comes built in. Um, Anyways, the terminal that I have here is the same as the one that you open separately like this. This or this is the same thing, just this one's built into VS Code. I also have in addition to command prompt, I've got Windows PowerShell, which I've got Git Bash, which if you downloaded, if you installed GitHub from that website I just showed you, or not GitHub, Git from this website, you'll also get this thing, just a different terminal. Here's command prompt. Here's command prompt. This is Git Bash. And then I also have PowerShell because I'm on Windows. These are just terminals, right? They have slightly different languages that they use. Some of the commands will be different. But for Git, they're all the same. If you type git dash dash version on any of them, you should get the Git version. Anyways, I'll use this one because the commands are on this one are the same as the commands on the Apple terminal that's built in. So whenever I go here to the terminal and then I click on this drop down and I pick PowerShell, Git Bash, or command prompt, I'm picking one of the different terminals. So I'll use Git Bash. And then if I have multiple, I could click the trash can to close one. And then I'll just type git, oops, git dash dash version one more time. So you can see I have git version 2.5. If I type git init, notice right here, this is source control is like a built-in tab on VS Code for working with GitHub. Right now, nothing's happening there. If it says initialize repository, so it says the folder currently open doesn't have a Git repository. You can initialize a repository, which will enable source control features powered by Git. So if I type git init over here and I press enter, it's the same as clicking this button. When I press enter, see that goes away. Now it's showing me 20 over here. It's showing me all the files that I have that I need to add to that shopping cart that you saw to say that I want to keep track of these projects. So these are all changes that are ready to be saved. Okay, but before I can save them, I have to click the plus sign, which stages the changes or adds them to the shopping cart. Or I have to type git add and then the file name, or git add and then a period for everything, or asterisk for everything. So period or star will add everything. Okay, now everything got added, so that was the same as clicking the plus sign. So now that everything got added, now it's showing me the changes or the staged changes. It went from changes to staged changes. So it went from just changes to changes that are in my shopping cart ready to be saved. That's what git add did. Um, all of this is here. See, first we did git init. I skipped the git add readme part. I haven't committed yet, so that's the next step. We type in git commit. You can see here it says git commit dash m first commit. That's the message. The dash m is to type in a message. So if you do dash m, the next thing you have to put is your git message. So uploaded files, let's say. All right, and if I press enter, that's gonna commit. I could press enter, or I could just click the commit button here and type in my message here. Uploaded files. Same thing. So this is just like giving you a user interface to do all this stuff. Um, so either type in this and press enter, or click the commit button with the message. All right, let's see. Mine's, you see here it says master, master. So my main branch, the main branch that I have is called master. That's the normal name for the main branch, but they want you to rename it to main. That's what this is for, git branch dash m main. So it changes the name from master to main. You could skip this. You don't really have to do this. The reason they want you to do this is maybe because the word master reminds people of slavery, or it's some like whatever. It's stupid reason, but you could keep it master or rename it to main. That's up to you. You could add your README or skip that. And then git remote add origin. This is so that it will know where to push it. So here you see how it says publish branch. Um, in order to know where to publish it, you have to do this command, git remote add origin. So it knows that, okay, this is where it's going to upload. That's the repository that I created here on GitHub. So it's going to come here. So I think, I'm not sure what will happen if I click it now or if I type in git push, because it might already have an origin. Maybe I have a git project here somewhere and it saved the origin from that one, but I'm not sure. Um, the way we could check is git um, let's try git status. Okay, nothing to commit. I forgot what the command was actually. Let me ask the ChatGPT over here. Command to see remote repository. Git remote dash v. So I'm gonna type in git remote dash v to see what my remote is. When I did that, it shows nothing, so I guess I don't have anything, which makes sense. I never put it, so that means if I click this, it shouldn't work. See, it didn't work. Well, it wants to sign in to GitHub. Say allow, and oh, now it's saying select an account for GitHub to use. I'll use David LAPC. So I'm signed into David LAPC. Let me type in git remote dash v again. Again, nothing. So if I click publish, what happens? Now it's saying publish to private GitHub, publish to public GitHub repository. And you can see here, it's, I don't know how it figured out the name. Maybe it's going by my folder name. I called this folder WST154. April 2026. So it's automatically gonna try to push it to one of these, but I don't want to put it to these. I want to explicitly tell it where to go, so I'm not gonna do that. Let's go ahead and type in this command so we know exactly where we're gonna send it. I could just copy paste this. You could clear this if you want to clear this out. Just type uh, that's gonna kill the terminal. If you want to clear all this, type in clear. Okay, now I'm gonna paste in the command. Git remote add origin, and then my link, press enter. So now let's type git remote dash v. Okay, now it shows me origin is there. That's where we're gonna fetch and push from. Okay, so now it knows where to push it. If I click publish, It should send it to this repository. So this is basically now going to upload everything, but we did it the long way and we made this a Git project instead of just a normal project. Okay, it says uploaded files. Good. Now if we go back and refresh this, you can see it all got uploaded. Okay, now we could do the settings, pages, choose master this time because I didn't rename it to main. Click save, give it a few seconds. Alright, now it's live and we can see it again. Alright, so one of these I uploaded manually just by dragging all the files. That's this one. And then the other one, let's go all repositories, my repositories. The second one I uploaded using the command so I first did git init to initialize it as a Git repository or a project that's managed by Git, the Git system. Then I did git add all to add all my files to be tracked. I did git commit. Git commit saves everything, creates a save point. And then in order to push it to my repository on GitHub, I did git remote add origin so it knows where to push it. And then I did git push. Okay, the advantage to doing it this way where it's a Git project with the master branch and everything, the advantage is if I make some changes, it'll tell me what changes I made and then I can keep track of those. So for example, let's say I want to add a styles.css. You can see here it shows like a 1 here. There's like one new file. I'll go ahead and add that file to stage changes. So now that file is, if I decide to commit, it's going to get saved. But let's go to that. Let's go back to Explorer. This can be confusing, like these two tabs. Since this shows some of your files, you might forget that you have to click Explorer to actually like edit the file. So here's styles.css. I'm gonna just put some generic styles. Let's do star, margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box, body. I'm adding some, I'm changing the font, changing the background color, and let's go ahead and change that list to not have bullets. And we have list items in there. Let's give them some padding. We've got links inside. Let's make the links not be underlined and change the color. And let's make sure we link to that CSS file. Okay, let's see what that looks like. My story, booleans. So I just made it a little bit nicer looking. Let's do a few more things here. Close, close this side panel and this one. Okay, I want this to, I don't know, be in the center, nice box in the middle. So we'll say background color, just change it to some dark color like that. Give it a width of 500 pixels and margin auto. Just change the color inside to a white. And the font size to be bigger, 1.4. What else? Let's put this padding on here and display block. Let's put some space between each list item. Let's put this background color on these guys instead of the UL. And the UL will put a different background color. Give it some padding. Um, let's make the body display flex. So I could do this to center everything. Oh, I need to make the height 100%. That doesn't work. 100. Let's do this. Instead of the body, let's put this inside a container. Put it in main. Let's make main display flex height 100%. Or let's do minimum height 100 VH. There we go. So it centers. Let's add a title H1. Give that H1 some margin. Anyways, that's a bunch of changes I just added. So let's go here. It's showing me 3 things are changed. For my changes, it's showing, okay, there's some changes on index.html. I added, see, the green stuff is stuff that I added. I added a link to the CSS. I added a main element. In the styles, I added all this stuff. So I'm going to click changes plus sign to stage all the changes. Again, that's the same as git add all. Next, give it a commit message like added style to home page. Click commit. That saves everything. Again, that's the same as saying git commit dash m and then in parentheses or in quotes added styles to main. But I already did that, so I'm gonna press enter because it's gonna be a second unnecessary commit. Next, sync changes or git push. I do git push, press enter. See, it tells me enumerating objects, counting objects, blah blah blah. To github.com/David/WST and then to the master branch. So we go here to, let me close this. Let's go back to GitHub and refresh. See in there, there's a styles.css added. There's a main element now. Everything's updated here. And then if we go to settings, pages, the website itself should be updated. But not yet. You gotta give it a few seconds. There it is. Now it's updated. So if you don't do it with GitHub, you just upload it. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult to update your project because now every time you make changes, you're gonna have to try to upload the files. So click add files, upload files. But if you change something, you're gonna have to edit it here. And you could do that actually if you press on your keyboard the period button, it'll open up a built-in VS Code in GitHub. And it'll look very similar. So if you need to make changes, you make your changes, and then you're gonna have to click commit and then exit. So for example, let's say, I don't know, let's change the background color of my whole project. Let's say body background color. Let's make it, I don't know, some blue color. Make it this grayish blue. Okay, you can see here it shows the one here. You have to do the same thing. Click the plus sign and then add a message, changed background color, commit and push, and then you have to exit, go back to repository. And then again, give it a few seconds, go to pages, refresh until the changes are updated. Sometimes you gotta do clear cache. Taking a little longer. I don't know why it's taking that long. Eventually though, it should, my background color should change because I think, right, I changed it here, right? Body, background color. Unless it did change, maybe I'm missing something. Let's go to styles. Oh, it is already there. Oh, I guess, oh, something's covering it. main. Oh yeah, it's because main is covering it. That's why I can't see it. I should have changed main if I wanted to see it. So main is taking up the whole screen. That's why I can't see the body background color. It's covered by main. But anyway, that's the other way to update it. If you decide to upload manually versus using the commands. But that's, I don't know, this is all recorded, so maybe later you guys could go through the process yourself. Try both versions. Don't be afraid to create a repository for practice and then delete it just so you get the hang of it. Try manually uploading and then try using those commands. Okay, but let's take a break. But yeah, from now on, try to upload your projects to GitHub. Okay, so right, so I re-uploaded my repository. This time um, first I created it on my computer. I initialized it here, and then I created a repository. Oops, new repository, test. And since I already had the Git project created on my computer, I did this one, or push an existing repository, right? But if you have a new repository or you haven't started yet, you would do this one. But if you do it this way, where you upload, there's still a way to make it a Git project. So this one I'll upload. I'll take all of this stuff, except for that Git folder. Let's keep that hidden. View show. Let's not see the hidden folder. If I do it this way, which is how most of you are gonna do it, I think, we could still we could still manage this um, the same way that I showed you by using the git commands and uploading it more easily and updating the file. What we need to do is after uploading it, you let's make our first commit, initial commit. So since we uploaded everything, the correct way to do this is instead of trying to initialize this as a Git repository by going here and doing Git init and all that, you should forget about that one. You could pretty much delete that because you just uploaded it to GitHub. Instead, what you should do is copy this and just open VS Code or even Git Bash. Just open it right here or your terminal and type git clone and then paste the link to your repository. Press enter. Okay, it should download. Where did it go? Oh, here it is, test. Remember, I named it test, so the folder got named test. We open this with VS Code. Yes, I trust the authors. So this is my project that I had. It's just I downloaded it from GitHub. I deleted it from my computer, and after I uploaded it to GitHub, I downloaded it from GitHub. What that does is it sets up the origin. Everything is now set up for me. It already knows where I downloaded it from. So if I type um, git status, it's gonna say your branch is up to date with origin main. It already knows this is origin main because I just copied and I cloned it from here. So again, the command is git clone. You copy this, you type git clone, and you paste this. It just downloads it and sets it up. So it already knows where main is, it already knows where origin is. You don't have to type all that stuff up anymore. Just makes it a little bit easier. Um, and if I make any changes, let's, I don't know, let's update something. I want to make this closer to here. So change the height of main. Let's add body. Let's make body display flex. Justify content center. Align item center. And then make body minimum height 100 VH. Okay, so we're just changing the look a little bit. Let's make this a better color, not this red color. Okay. Did I set up GitHub pages for this one yet? I don't think I did. Do that. So Leo, the one that you did, I guess that was the best thing to do. Delete your file from your local computer on your desktop. Just delete it and just clone it. If you clone it, then everything will be set up correctly. You won't have all those issues.
Uh, please share this recorded so I could follow the setup.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. It's uploaded. Right. Now let's push. Make our commit and changed background. Commit. Would you like to stage all your changes and commit them directly? Yes, I forgot to click the plus sign to stage my changes, but it reminded me that I forgot to, so click on that and then commit. Then sync changes. It says this action will pull and push commits from the origin main. Click OK. And all that stuff got set up when I cloned it. When you clone a repository, it's gonna know where to push it and where to pull from. So no need to type git or git add origin main. You don't have to do all that because you just cloned from there. Um, of course, if it's not your repository, it won't let you update changes to it. So there will be a step where it'll ask you to log into GitHub. So if you log in with the correct email that you're signed in from, so if you're the owner of that repository, then you could push your changes. They should update in a second because I just made some changes. There we go. It's the new version. Anyway, I'll try to summarize this again next time, but basically you're either gonna follow the instructions GitHub gives you and upload it that way, right? So when you create a new repository, test 2, let's say, you could either do this if you haven't created your project yet, if you haven't initialized, if you never did Git in it and it's not a Git project, you just have a regular project on your computer, you could do this. If you already made it a Git project, you're gonna do this. If you decide to do this, upload an existing file because that's the easiest way to do it. Go ahead and do it this way, just like this. But after you do that, after it's uploaded, you can delete what you just uploaded off your computer and just clone it. Okay, so commit changes, uploaded, commit. So all this stuff I just uploaded to GitHub. Still processing. Let me refresh that. Okay, so it got uploaded. Every file that I have here already. So that means it's safe to just delete this. Close VS Code so it lets me delete it. Then you could just copy this code and then either in your terminal you could type git clone and then paste the link and then press enter. You do it there, or you could open VS Code right there in your desktop. And then in the terminal over here, you could type the same thing. Git clone, paste that URL, press enter. It's gonna download it, and you're gonna have your project ready to go. But don't forget, right now I'm on desktop, so if you do it this way, also make sure you say open folder and go into that folder. There we go. So now everything is cloned. I should be able to git push, git pull, update. When I make changes, it'll show up over here. Everything will be managed by Git. Okay. Anyways, that's it. So hopefully you guys can figure that out and upload your existing assignments and future assignments to GitHub and manage it that way. This will take practice, but it's really useful because if you ever get a job in web development working with a team, it's very likely they're using GitHub. They might be using some other technology for managing projects, but GitHub is the most popular, so it's most likely that. And if they're using a different one, it's going to be very similar. You're also going to have main branch and you're going to have commits and stuff. So it's something you should get used to. All right, sign out should be posted. We go to Google Classroom, double check. I'll add an assignment where it'll just be to upload to GitHub. Make your projects managed by Git and upload to GitHub. Sign out. Sign out's posted. It's 8:02.